25 days of Christmas. Hey sweet cupcakes, welcome back to day 5 of 25 days of Christmas. Today we are making Mickey Mouse shaped Christmas cookies. We are making winter snowflake, Christmas tree, and peppermint themed cookies. So let's get started. So we are going to start out with the peppermint themed cookies. Here I already have my baked cookie, and to get the Mickey shape I just used a Mickey head shaped cookie cutter. So I'm taking some red royal icing and I piped on a pinwheel shape onto the head and kind of just imagined what it would look like if the white part was already on here. If you are not really good at eyeballing the shape, then you can use a toothpick or something sharp, even a pin, to kind of scratch the surface of the cookie, and that way you'll be able to follow the lines. If you want more explanation on this, you can click on over to my Jungle Book cookies, and in that tutorial I show you the technique that I'm talking about, where I scratched the surface of the cookie and there I had the shape of the cookie, so it was easier to follow with the royal icing. So here is my cookie. This is actually a different cookie than the one I made on screen. But here I just wanted to show you that I did mess up, and if you do, it's totally fine. You could just rub that off, and when we go ahead and put the white icing on it, you won't even be able to tell. So I left the cookie with the red icing dry overnight. If you don't have overnight to wait, then 2 to 3 hours will work as well. And then I have some white royal icing, and then I just filled the missing areas. And that is it for the peppermint cookie. Super, super easy. So now we're going to move on to the Christmas tree themed cookies. Here I have some green royal icing, and I'm going to go ahead and outline the whole shape of the cookie and then fill that in. If anybody was wondering, I'm using 15-second consistency royal icing. Because it's easier to pipe and to fill in. And then I'm going to go ahead, and here is the royal icing that I used for the peppermint themed cookies for the pinwheels, and I'm just piping on dots. And you can actually do this with all of the colors. Basically what we're doing here are the lights for the Christmas tree, but I was feeling lazy and I didn't want to make a whole batch of royal icing just for the lights. So here I'm going to show you 2 options of what you can do. So if you are making other cookies, for example the peppermint themed cookies, then you are already going to have the royal icing and you can make these little lights. If you don't have other colors, or if you're just specifically making these Christmas tree themed cookies, then I'm going to show you later on what I did with the other colors. So basically, if you are going to make these little lights, then you want to get some parchment paper or wax paper, and first I'm making little dots. And as you can see, you can make tons of them because they're super easy and fast to make. And with a toothpick or a skewer, I'm just gonna make a little diamond shape. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't really need to worry about them all being the same, exactly the same, but you just want to make sure that they're relatively the same size. Then you want to go ahead and let these dry for about 3 hours. I let these dry overnight, but yeah, and then later on I'll show you what to do with them. So here is my cookie. The icing is already hardened because I let it dry overnight, and here I have some white royal icing, and I'm going to show you here. I left this clip in because I just wanted to show you guys that sometimes I mess up, and it's not a surprise that I mess up. It shouldn't be a surprise, but I just want to show you how to fix it in case you mess up as well. And I just thought that it was really important to show this because yeah, sometimes just things don't go as we plan, or sometimes our brain has a brain fart and we have to kind of just fix the issue. But because the green icing is already really hardened, then it's super easy to just take off that soft icing that we placed on top. So here I'm making just kind of a swinging zigzag motion with my royal icing, and as you can see, our little lights are already dry, so they're super easy to just pick up and place on the royal icing. Now, like I said, I was super lazy and I didn't want to make a whole batch of royal icing for all the individual lights. So here I am just piping little dots along the little strands of royal icing, and again with the skewer I'm making diamond shapes, and I set those aside to dry for about 20 to 30 minutes. Once they're nice and hardened, then I'm just taking a brush with some food coloring. I'm actually taking the food coloring straight from the bottle because this is the only cookie that I made, just to demonstrate to you guys. But if you are making a whole batch of these, then I would recommend that you place the food coloring in a different container and then go ahead and paint it on. But once these are painted on, you just want to wait for the paint, I shouldn't call it paint, for the food coloring to dry. That takes for about like 10 minutes, and then these are done. And last but certainly not least, we are making our winter snowflake cookies. So here I'm just again outlining the cookie and then filling it in, and with my toothpick just making little circles to go ahead and flatten and just to smooth out the icing. Another small tip also is to shake the cookie just very gently, and also tap the cookie to smooth out the icing. That really helps as well. So before I let this cookie dry, I'm going to take some snowflake sprinkles and I'm just going to put them on the cookie. I'm putting them on sparingly, leaving some empty spaces because we are going to go ahead and pipe on some snowflakes once the icing is dry. So I'm going to let this dry for at least 3 hours. Actually let it dry overnight like all the other cookies, and then taking some white icing, I'm just going to go ahead and draw some snowflakes. If you are making all of these cookies, then letting them dry overnight is your best bet, because that way it's super easy, and when you wake up in the morning they'll all be nice and hardened. But yeah, these are the finished cookies. I hope that you guys enjoyed and that you guys like them. Again, if you do try anything out from any of my tutorials, please tag me on Instagram and also use the hashtag Paola Julissa. I would love to see your creations. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another video. I love you so much, and yeah, bye.